The new fallout. Porter, the new engine, was settling in well in the island of Sodor. His friends were nice to him, and he was nice to him too, and was especially nice to Arthur. But then, however, Porter was friends with Arthur at first, and now he wasn't, and which made Porter never want to be Arthur's friend anymore. One day he was waiting for a red signal when Arthur puffed up. "Hi, Porter," he said. "You okay?" Porter didn't dare speak to Arthur. He had something of his to finish with. The signal changed to green. Porter puffed away and ignored Arthur. Arthur was confused. "I thought we were friends," he said. "I hope we're still friends. Porter, what's wrong?" But Porter ignored Arthur. The evening began, and Porter was still thinking to himself, "I want to get back at Arthur tomorrow," he thought. "I don't want to be friends with him anymore." When he got to the sheds, Luke, Caitlin, and Duke were wondering what was wrong with him. "What's wrong, Luke? What's wrong, Porter?" asked Caitlin. "You know," said Porter. I've decided that I'm not Arthur's friend anymore," he said. "Why?" said Duke. "I thought you and he were good friends. Remember when you and he helped us get out of the sheds when the turntable was jammed?" "Yeah," said Caitlin. "What would we have done without you two?" "Oh, they're just memories," said Porter. But they're bad ones too." "That's not true," said Luke, "and you know that." "Oh, I do know that it's true," said Porter. "Anyway, I don't want to talk though." And with that, the four engines didn't talk, and then they shut their eyes and went to sleep for the rest of the evening. The next day later, Porter was in a bad mood. He had to shunt stone trucks in the docks because he had been silly this morning, and the Fat Controller did not like that at all. Porter was in a bad mood and didn't want to talk about it, and then he kept on shunting trucks. Arthur was in a siding thinking about what Porter couldn't say to him last night when Paxton bustled in. "Hi, Arthur," he said. "You look worried." "I am worried," said Arthur. Porter was ignoring me when I was talking nicely to him. "I think he doesn't want to, said Paxton. Arthur felt very upset. "You mean he doesn't want to be friends with me anymore?" "Yes," said Paxton. "He told me that this morning when he was being silly, but ignore him though." But Arthur couldn't think of what to say. "But he's not anymore, he's not," said Paxton. "That's all I have to say, Arthur. I'm sorry, I have to go and do my work. See ya." And Paxton trundled away. Arthur felt very hurt when Paxton told him that Porter wasn't his friend, and with that he ignored he pretended that never happened and went to sleep. When Porter finished pushing his trucks around the docks, he had a devious plan. He found Arthur in the siding where he was resting. Porter bustled in quietly. He laughed quietly. He reversed, and then he quickly biffed Arthur out of the siding. The buffers broke, and Arthur woke up with a start. "What's happening?" he said. His driver couldn't apply the brakes because of how slippy the key was, and with that Arthur crashed into the ocean. Arthur was wet through, and Porter was about to escape when Dennis stopped him. "Hold it right there," he said. You're not finished with me yet." Porter was in big trouble. "Got you this time, Porter," said Dennis. "Porter," said Arthur, "it was you?" "Yes, it was me," said Porter, "and I did want to do it." Arthur was very upset. "You know what, Porter," he said, "I really never want to see you again," he said, and that made Arthur feel very worse. When Arthur was craned out of the water, the Fat Controller spoke severely to Porter. "For your punishment, you will go to the other railway. Perhaps you might not have any friends there." "Yes, sir," said Porter. "But that's not fair, though," he said crossly. I was actually looking forward to being in your railway," he said. "You was at first," said the Fat Controller, "but I'm afraid you've caused me a big deal of trouble." "Yes, sir. Goodbye, sir," said Porter. And then Porter put away crossly. Arthur was happy, but was upset to see that he had broke up with a new friend. But Paxton and Dennis had helped Arthur well, and Arthur was very pleased with it, and was very pleased that he was not Porter's friend anymore.